Good morning. This is Norma Cowie, and this is A Sunday Thought. First of all, I'm going to just say on Friday, I got up from my chair from my computer, and my right knee just totally collapsed on me. I nearly thought I was going to fall on the floor. And since then, I have been walking with aid. I happen to have a chair that I can utilize that helps, but it's been a little difficult to do some things. And I've been resting. I didn't want to go to the hospital. I didn't really want to, no use phoning a doctor anymore. They don't come and see you, or you can't go see them. So it was a very interesting thing. So there's two thoughts I want, not that it's in my makeup, is that sometimes things happen and you just have to accept that and keep on going. And in a way, that's what's been happening in our society right now. But what I really wanted to talk about today was Atlantis. Most of us know that Atlantis disappeared into the sea. That's the myth that is around it. But there's a number of people I know who have had past life memories of Atlantis. They remember the beautiful buildings. They remember the what would you say, the dealing and working with crystals. They remember being connected to what they call the one power, the one essence that is in all things. They were, it appears, a tremendously spiritual person, philosophy, but they made a mistake. And it's a mistake I think we're making now. They began to turn towards technology, and they began to forget that there was this one power, or the power, the knowing of that oneness that they listened to and worked to. They forgot. They forgot to remember that we're connected to this higher power. And again, it doesn't really matter what you call that higher power. I know people who have had life memories or other memories that have come up from that time. They talk about the one. They talk about being clairvoyant, about running the system based on using astral projection and other things. There was a tremendous amount of growth and harmony and consideration for your growth and the pattern of who you are. And always a recognition of your connection to this one force and one power, which we have. Now, today, we are once more utilizing technology a lot and forgetting that there is a power in this universe to aid and help us. Yes, my knee is really sore, and I may still have to seek advice on this knee. It's not the first time it's gone on me, and it's not the first I have had surgery on it. But it's still, I like to think that the energy that I'm looking at where I need to put more energy into my legs and connection to the earth, because the earth is feeling it. I have been studying via the technology where the earthquakes have been. And if anybody else out there is listening to this, watch that, they will have noticed that the frequency of earthquakes from 6 point up to 7 point, and there's been the occasional one that's higher than that, but 6 and 7 are regular now, sometimes 2 or 3 times in a 24-hour period in different parts of the world, not always just one area. Yes, there are some main lines where there is a lot of you might say earthquake. There's also a few volcanoes that have been going off regularly. This is another sign that the world upon which we live, upon which we take our sustenance, upon which we honor, hopefully, is not super happy with what's going on. In my own personal world over the years, I have gone down and spoken to what I call the Earth Mother and asked for direction, asked for how something that I perceived is. And I've always gotten an answer that often has been proven by other things that I have read happen after I've been told this. And then, oh, yeah, that happened. All I get is not quite time yet, not quite time. So the key here is really, I think, is for us to really examine where we're putting our power. Are we honoring what this earth really is? Are we honoring the ability to be able to work with, condone, and operate effectively based on the appreciation and honoring not only of the earth energy, but of each other? The actual, what would we say, commitment to each other in our growth. When I was much younger, we used to join together in large groups, supporting each other and being aware of our growth, of our internal growth, of our personal as well as spiritual growth. And I don't see that happening today. People can't go into churches. Now, there are a lot of people like myself. I belong to metaphysical churches. I am also a metaphysical minister at this time, belonging to an organization. But at the same point, where we can't gather. I used to have a meditation group every Wednesday night for years. That was a growth that was placed. Some people came for all the many years I did it. Some people came and went and took what they needed and went on. But that's what people had support. Today, there are channels, there's TV channels I know that are very often, they hold not so much the metaphysical point of view, but the Christian point of view, which has sometimes to us metaphysicians a little limitation, because in metaphysics, we don't believe in judgment. We believe in an all seeing, but an all forgiving energy that supports you, that helps you create your world. But what I really wanted to convey, because it's been coming back to me, do we want to go the way that Atlantis went? Because believe me, if we keep on giving our power away, if we keep on allowing a few to dictate, which looks like where we're going, there will be a repercussion from the earth. And people have forgotten that. People have forgotten Atlantis. They very seldom think of Lemuria, which same thing happened, and the other times before that. There's been many times when society has risen really high, and then over time they recede. And I recognize that. I understand that the level of history. But every now and again, in historical sense, the whole unit, the land disappears into the water. Or like in Atlantis, they always say the Great Flood came. Atlantis is the last time that happened. It happened also in Lemuria. And a lot of people are on the planet right now that remember Lemuria, which was quite different from Atlantis, because Atlantis were very intellectual, but they lost their way. And I think we need to remember that. Are we losing our way? Are we losing our love, our compassion for our fellow man? Are we moving into judgment because they don't think exactly the same as we do? Are we moving into all those elements that stop and block us from being? Yes, I'm not feeling the greatest today, and I apologize for that. But you know what? Life goes on. And when you make a commitment, as I have, to appear on a Wednesday and a Friday, even though I lived here to get here, because I can't put all my force on my right leg yet at all, almost not. As the saying goes, the show must go on. The lovingness of this planet goes on. The lovingness that I have for others that walk this path, that come to understand, that delight in the world. Whatever I can do to support, I will. You have my love, my strength, my voice, and I will be back Wednesday for Norma Talks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, your comments, etc. Look forward to seeing you again.